back again with another exciting video. Today, we're going to talk about Pwen, sigils, Veves, Patipimba, Fermas. Today, I want to talk about these things because they're very important, because in my culture, we call these things, these symbols, these things called Pwen. A Pwen sometimes can even be used as an item, mojo bag, whatsoever. But let me just talk about Pwen. Most of the time, it's a symbol that the person carries with them and is supposed to bestow them with good luck, whether it's in love, whether it's in business, gambling, transactions like that. Now, in my culture, we hear that these symbols, these symbols, if they're not fed, they can come back to destroy you. In Creole, we say, Pwen a manje mouna. Pwen a manje mouna, which means the Pwen or the sigil has destroyed the person. Which, when we understand that, it's like this. For those of you online purchasing these magical symbols like, Lucifer's Rathcal symbols whatsoever, and you read on the internet that this is how you activate it. Listen, let me tell you something, man. A lot of these so-called, what do they call it? Warlocks and magicians, they claim that, they know what they're doing. Let me explain something to you, man. So, you know what? Let me just say this. There's a lot of people out here that claim that they have some type of knowledge of how to work with these things, man. Listen, let me tell you something, man. When you really know how to work with someone, I heard someone tell me they had a Pwen, and I asked him, a symbol or sigil of Lucifer's Rathcal, and I asked him, did you feed it? The person said, what are you talking about? No, I empowered it with my own power. I just stopped talking because I already know. You don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I hear someone talk about personal empowerment of a sigil, by they holding it in, charging it with their power, I already know they don't know what they're doing. A sigil is no different from a veve. The same understanding of a veve is the same concept behind a sigil. These things need power. And when you activate them truly and you do not repower them, you already know what's the consequence. If you're into Haitian voodoo and you're really deep into mysticism, you know that shit will come back to fuck you up because it's not powered up, it's not fed. So I say to these people out here that is purchasing these weird symbols online, like, and they come about thinking, oh, they read this from this booklet, this pamphlet says this is how you activate this. Listen, man, by you following these people, you'll mess around and get fucked up out here. Because let me explain something to you. A lot of these demonic sigils, especially of the Goetia nature, a lot of these medieval sigils can fuck you up bad if you basically do the opposite, because these spirits are very hot. And if you do the ritual wrong, they're going to come back and fuck you up. So the Pwen, that shit, yes, it will bestow you with luck when it's done right, but after X amount of time, you got to power that bitch back up, because if you don't, that shit is going to come fuck you up. See, this is not what they don't talk about. See, in the Western world, you got a lot of these new age people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, I've heard of people, they use a symbol and then they put it down and nothing happens. That's because the sigil is not powered up. It's not fed. That's why you don't experience that backlash, because it's not fucking fed. What the fuck do you expect? A lot of people out here, it just makes me mad when I see this nonsense that people are doing. Nonsense. Utter nonsense. And then they online with these goddamn pamphlets and booklets and this is how you do it, this and that. Listen, man, there's just so much garbage on the internet from, you know what? I'm not even going to mention any names. It's just the garbage that I've seen so far. But I say this, if you're thinking about basically getting into veves and sigils, I say this, word of caution and, word of advice. You got to develop yourself spiritually and psychically before you start trying to get into the application of applying and waking these spirits up that these sigils actually have this. Let me explain something. The sigil itself is a homing device. It is like a cell phone to the spirit. Now, you can dial it up and say, fuck you, by you basically channeling up the wrong way. You're like picking up the cell phone, calling that spirit up and say, fuck you. And that spirit's a real gangster. That spirit's going to come after you like, what you say, you know what I mean? What you disrespecting me? Come on, man, we already know. You know what I mean? You're dealing with the gangsters of God, you know? So, I say this. Listen, you got to be spiritually developed before you start addressing and thinking about working with these sigils and stuff like that, because especially the demonic ones, because the last thing you need is to catch the reaction of the spirit when basically it's in physical manifestation mode. You want to be able to catch a thing psychically, because if you catch it psychically, it will mitigate or basically cancel out any bad things that will happen. Pick up the Goetia. You'll see what the things that the books that says specifically what these spirits are capable of doing. The physical things that they're capable of doing. Let me say this. What you read in the Goetia is exactly what it says. Do not try to rationalize and say, oh, the causing arguments and fights. Oh, basically this is a little fuss with her, a little disagreement between two people. No. When they say arguments and like fighting wars, it means exactly that. Blood is going to be shed. Do not slack, because a lot of Westerners today try to rationalize when it comes to the Goetia, when it comes to sigils, these medieval sigils. They try to rationalize and be like, oh, it means this. It doesn't necessarily mean this. Or we may even say, that even for the black pullet, this sigil opens doors. They say, oh, it doesn't mean that. Oh, this symbol, this symbol doesn't open. It doesn't mean physical doors. Yes, it does, man. Doors, every avenue of everything that is associated with a door, from symbolism all the way to physicality. It opens doors, physical doors, yes, indeed, as well as spiritual doors. It means what the fuck it says. So with that said, I conclude this video. Hopefully this video is to the point and informative. Thank you guys for watching.